Hi everyone, Harrison Orr here. Just want to say welcome back, and it's good to see you all again. I don't know about all of you, but it dawned on me the other day that we are closer to the end of the program now than we are to the beginning. So that makes me excited for what's to come. I'll start with the first question, but I'll kind of preface this by saying that I've never studied epistemology before or had a course that encouraged any type of dialogue on epistemology. So my answers are pretty raw, but we're just going to give it a shot anyway. So the first question is, how do you know? So I thought about this question for quite a while. I think you truly know something when you can state it as a fact beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what the whole scientific method is really about. For example, I want to know the temperature outside. I wonder what the temperature is. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 73 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 61 degrees.
Okay. So now I know what the temperature is. I can state that it's 73 degrees outside beyond a reasonable doubt, because the Fahrenheit scale isn't really up for debate. It's a scale that we all use and are accustomed to. So now I know the temperature outside, because I can state it beyond a reasonable doubt. So the second question is, what is knowledge? I think based on my prior definition of how do you know something, knowledge would be all the ancillary information that leads to a conclusion. So in the temperature example, the scale that we're measuring the temperature on, like Fahrenheit and Celsius, historical knowledge of what temperature feels like. I have a good idea that it's 73 degrees outside because I know what 73 degrees feels like. Also, I know that Alexa over here.
You are 0.47 miles, 0.76 kilometers, west of the center of Love Field, North Carolina.
Okay. I know where she's getting her data over there. It's probably from a weather station around here somewhere. So all that together forms my knowledge of what the temperature is and how do I frame it in context. The next question is, how can you be certain? I think for binary yes/no type things, you can definitely be certain. Like I flip a coin and it lands with tails facing up. Therefore, I know the coin landed with tails facing up. It's not really up for debate. I think when you start dealing with people's feelings and personal preferences and prejudices, that's where you start to get matters complicated. So I guess if I had to boil it down, I'd say that end results are typically certain, but the question of why you got to that result is probably what's uncertain. Why did this outcome happen? You can never be someone else, so you don't know exactly what their intentions and motivations were for taking an action. How do we understand knowing? I really don't know. That's what I want to learn in this course. So, all right, who am I? So, obviously, I'm Harrison. I'm 26 years old. I currently live in Sylva, North Carolina. I have no idea where she said Love Field is. I have no idea where that is. Never heard of that in my life. But anyway, I currently live in Sylva, North Carolina. But I'm about to move to Mars Hill, North Carolina, coming up here soon. So I'm excited about that. I work at Southwestern Community College here in Sylva, and I'll still be doing that even though I'm moving away. I'll just have a different work schedule. I do a lot of things there. I teach mainly electronics engineering and computer engineering courses on all sorts of topics such as communications. That's really my bread and butter, is teaching communications, like AM, FM, and antennas and satellite systems, things like that. It's really fun. I teach an operating systems course for the computer engineering group, which is pretty neat, talking about Windows and Mac and Linux and the history and the intricacies of all of those. So I'm also a lab assistant, so I'll set up new equipment and do all sorts of things like that. So it's a pretty fun job. It is part-time work, so that's sad, but I am off this summer. I'm on my 3-month unpaid vacation, as I call it. So just doing this coursework and moving, and that's pretty much what I have on the agenda. So what am I? That's a bit of a complex question. That's something I search for that answer every single day of my life. That's really what keeps me going, to pursue the questions that I desire to have answers to. I think for what am I, I'm really the sum of all my life experiences, whether they be emotional or physical or intellectual. I'm the sum of all those parts. Assumptions and biases. I don't know if it's really fair for me to explain what my biases are because I'm not sure I know what they are. I know that I have them. I don't want to sound like I don't, but it might be better for someone else to judge that. I do have biases, but I think we all have that bias of that we believe we are right. We take certain social and political stances because we believe them to be right, but we truly don't know what's right because there really isn't an absolute reference for what is right. Some people look to religion for that, but we can't even agree on religion. There's many different religions in the world, so there really isn't a true absolute reference that every person can go against. I said all that to say this: we all have biases, and I myself have biases, and I don't really know about my assumptions. I try not to have assumptions when I'm going into something new or I'm meeting someone new because it alters my view of whatever the outcome is. And those assumptions, create biases. How am I who I am? Well, I would probably need a team of psychologists working for probably years to figure that out. So anyway, that's all the questions. So thanks for watching. I look forward to participating with you all again this semester, and I'll see you online.